My boyfriend and his family called me crazy for finding black hairs in our bathroom, then his coworker's ex revealed they'd been having an affair for months. I am 24 female and have been with my boyfriend Eric 26 male for 4 years now. We moved in together about 1.5 years ago after living with a roommate in our previous place. Our relationship had a rocky start, but we worked through those issues and built what I thought was a strong relationship. At least that was until I started finding mysterious long black hairs in our bathroom. Eric and I met at a party through our mutual friend group. I had just gotten out of a toxic relationship where my ex constantly cheated on me and blamed me for his actions. I was dealing with severe trust issues and had sworn off dating, but Eric was different. He was charming, funny, and seemed genuinely interested in helping me heal. He had his own trust issues from a past relationship where his girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend, so we connected over our shared experiences. The first year was tough. We had frequent arguments about trust and boundaries. Eric would get suspicious if I talked to male friends, while I would panic if he didn't respond to messages for a few hours. We almost broke up twice but decided to work on our issues instead. We started communicating better, set clear boundaries, and things improved significantly. By our second year, we had a really good thing going. Eric works as a software developer at a mid-sized tech company. He switched to remote work during the pandemic and continued working from home even after his office reopened. I work in marketing and split my time between home and office, going in 2 to 3 times a week for important meetings. We have a good routine at home, sharing chores, cooking together, and generally enjoying each other's company. Eric is very close to his family, especially his sister Amy. She visits us frequently and we got along great until recently. His parents treated me like their own daughter, always inviting me to family events and including me in everything. I got particularly close to his mom, who would often call just to check on me. The hair situation started about 3 months ago. I have shoulder-length red hair while Eric keeps his dark brown hair short, barely 15 centimeters long. One day after returning from the office, I found a long black hair in our bathroom sink. It was about 65 centimeters long, straight, and definitely not mine or Eric's. I immediately called him since he was out with Amy and told him we needed to talk urgently when he got home. When he returned, instead of addressing my concerns, he exploded at me. He yelled about how I embarrassed him in front of his sister by making it sound like something was seriously wrong. He accused me of being paranoid and trying to control him by checking up on him while he was out. When I tried showing him the hair, he refused to even look at it and walked away. I spent that night trying to rationalize it. Maybe it was from our friend Sarah who visited 2 weeks ago, though her hair is brown, or perhaps I hadn't cleaned thoroughly enough after we had guests over. But then it kept happening. Every time I would come home from the office, I would find these long black hairs. Sometimes in the sink, sometimes caught in the shower drain, always the same length and color. The second time I brought it up, Eric called me crazy and said I was seeing things because of my past trauma. He gave me the silent treatment all evening while I cried myself to sleep. Getting frustrated with his dismissive behavior, I started documenting everything. I would take photos of the hairs where I found them, note down dates and times. Once I even taped one of the hairs to a piece of paper along with the date and left it on his desk. This led to another explosive argument where he accused me of being insecure and controlling. He kept reminding me that he works from home most days, so how could he possibly be cheating? More silent treatment followed. Eric only goes to the office for team meetings or client presentations, which happen maybe twice a month. His sister visits often, but her hair is short and blonde. None of our regular friends have long black hair. I even started paying attention to our neighbors but couldn't find anyone matching this description. Yesterday was the breaking point. I went to a work party in the evening and came back around 9 p.m. As soon as I went to the bathroom, I found another black hair, this time draped over the edge of the bathtub. I called Eric to come look, but he just snapped at me saying really, again, and stormed off muttering about how tired he was of my accusations. This morning when he tried talking to me like nothing happened, I gave him the silent treatment for a change. He acted all hurt and confused, asking why I was being cold to him. He left for a doctor's appointment followed by some office work, still pretending he had no idea why I was upset. I have checked his phone multiple times but found nothing suspicious. His messages, emails, and social media all seem clean. He spends most of his time either working, gaming, or watching TV. When we are together, he is affectionate and loving. We still go on dates, make plans for the future, and generally act like a normal couple. But these hairs and his aggressive reactions when I bring them up are making me question everything. Our friends think I am overreacting since Eric works from home and we are together most of the time. His sister Amy suggested I might be stressed from work and projecting my insecurities onto innocent situations. But I know what I am seeing and his defensive behavior is extremely suspicious. I installed a small camera in our living room last week but have not caught anything yet. From what I can see, Eric really is just working or relaxing when I am at the office. But these hairs keep appearing and his angry reactions are getting worse each time I bring it up. I need advice on how to handle this. Should I confront him more aggressively? Set up more cameras? Hire a private investigator? Or just pack my bags and leave? I feel like I am going crazy but my gut tells me something is very wrong here. Update 1. After posting my story, I got overwhelmed with messages telling me to install cameras everywhere, especially in the bathroom. Many suggested tracking his phone or hiring a PI, while others recommended surprising him at home on days I was supposed to be at work. The suggestions were helpful, but I decided to be more strategic about this. I needed solid proof before another confrontation with Eric. The constant gaslighting had really messed with my head, making me doubt everything I saw. So I came up with a plan. I told Eric my boss wanted me around the office more often because we had some big projects coming up. He seemed relieved and said being around people might help me get over my paranoia about the hairs. For a week after my first post, the hairs completely disappeared. The bathroom was spotless every time I came home. Eric was extra attentive during this period, suggesting we order in, wanting to watch movies together, just being very present. I almost started believing I had imagined everything. But then last Tuesday changed everything. I told Eric I had a full day at the office but actually planned to come back during lunch. I had noticed a pattern. His doctor appointments often aligned with my office days, happening around lunchtime. He had another one scheduled for that day. As I quietly approached our apartment door around 1 p.m., I heard female laughter coming from inside. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped my keys. When I finally managed to unlock the door silently, the sounds became clearer. The shower was running and I could hear a woman talking from our bathroom. A voice I recognized immediately, Lisa, Eric's coworker who had come over a few times for team meetings. Lisa has waist-length black hair. I stood frozen in our hallway, my heart pounding in my ears. Eric's voice joined hers, followed by more laughter and what sounded like kissing noises. My first instinct was to burst in and catch them, but somehow I managed to stay calm. I took out my phone and started recording the audio. After about a minute, I walked out as quietly as I had come in and went straight to a coffee shop nearby. Sitting there, I started going through Eric's social media, paying special attention to his work photos. Lisa began appearing in his team photos around the same time I first found the hairs. She had been to our apartment twice for team lunches. Eric always mentioned she was dating someone from their office named Mark, often bringing him up in conversations as if to make her presence less suspicious. I scrolled back further and noticed more things. In older photos, Lisa would stand with other team members, but in recent ones she was always next to Eric. There were subtle changes in their body language too. They started standing closer, their smiles seemed more intimate. The most recent photo from an office party 2 weeks ago showed them sitting together at what Eric had told me was a team dinner. I called my best friend Sarah and told her everything. She offered to let me stay with her and wanted to go confront Eric right away. But I had a different plan in mind. I went back to the office and stayed until my usual time. When I got home, Eric was working on his laptop like it was just another normal day. That night and the following days, I pretended everything was fine. I acted completely normal while quietly gathering evidence. Through some social media digging, I discovered Lisa had broken up with Mark 3 months ago, exactly when the hairs started appearing. Their breakup had been messy according to mutual friends. I also started tracking Eric's doctor appointments more carefully. He never had any medical issues before, but suddenly needed regular checkups every few weeks. Strangely, these appointments always happened on days I was at the office, usually around lunchtime. Looking at our shared calendar, I found he had another one scheduled for tomorrow. This morning after he left for his appointment, I packed all my important documents, some clothes, and my valuables. I am writing this from Sarah's apartment. Eric has called at least 50 times since he got home and found my things missing. His messages started with asking where I am, then turned angry about me leaving without explanation, and now he is playing the victim saying he is worried sick about me. I have not responded to any of his calls or messages. I have the audio recording from the bathroom, photos of all the hairs I collected with dates, and screenshots of his suspicious pattern of appointments. I plan to send everything to his sister Amy, who kept defending him and calling me paranoid every time I tried talking to her about my concerns. Some people might think I should confront him directly first. But after months of him making me question my sanity, treating me like I was crazy for asking about something so obvious, I do not see the point. He and Lisa can have each other. I just want his family to know exactly why I left. I will post another update after I send everything to Amy. I have a feeling Eric's image as the perfect son who would never hurt anyone is about to crumble. Update 2. Sending those messages to Amy backfired initially. I sent her everything, the audio recording from the bathroom, photos of all the hairs with dates, screenshots of Eric's suspicious appointments, and a detailed timeline showing how everything lined up perfectly with Lisa entering the picture. Amy's response shocked me. Instead of being apologetic about calling me paranoid, she doubled down. She claimed the audio recording could have been anything, said I was breaching Eric's privacy by recording in our shared apartment, and even suggested I was unstable for documenting the hairs. Then she shared everything in their family group chat, telling everyone how I had lost my mind and was trying to destroy Eric's reputation out of jealousy. Eric's parents joined in too. His mom, who used to treat me like a daughter, started calling me manipulative. His dad threatened legal action for defamation. They all painted me as a crazy ex who could not handle a breakup. But things changed when Lisa's ex Mark reached out to me. Eric's cousin, who works at the same company, was in their family group chat and had shared my evidence with some coworkers. Mark saw it and decided to tell me everything. Apparently, Lisa and Eric had been seeing each other for almost 6 months, well before she ended things with Mark. He had caught them once in the office parking lot, but Eric convinced him it was a misunderstanding. Armed with this new information, I decided to report both Eric and Lisa to their company HR. Their workplace had strict policies about disclosing relationships between coworkers. They were required to inform HR about any romantic involvement to avoid conflicts of interest. Within days, both were put on administrative leave pending investigation. This finally broke Eric's silence. His messages started pouring in, switching between anger and pleading. He admitted to everything but blamed me for taking it too far. According to him, he was planning to tell me about Lisa eventually, he just needed time to figure things out. He said I overreacted by involving his workplace and family. His family turned even more hostile. His parents kept switching between begging me to withdraw my complaint and threatening me with legal consequences. Amy showed up at my office crying about how I had ruined her brother's life over a few hairs. Security had to remove her from the premises. Mark sent me more evidence, screenshots of conversations between him and Lisa where she admitted to the affair, photos of them together from months ago, everything. The truth was worse than I imagined. Eric had been meeting Lisa at her place initially, but they started using our apartment once I began going to office more often. Those doctor appointments were never real. They used our bathroom for their meetups because Lisa's roommate worked from home and could catch them. They thought they were being careful about cleaning up but clearly failed at removing all traces. Eric's family knew about Lisa, she had even attended some family gatherings as his coworker while they were secretly together. The final blow to Eric's reputation came when some of his coworkers started speaking up. Turns out their affair was an open secret at the office. Several people had seen them being intimate in conference rooms and at office parties. They had already been warned about their behavior but kept denying any involvement. Eric moved in with Lisa after both of them got fired. She had to leave her apartment since she could not afford it without her job. Now they are trying to paint themselves as victims of my vindictiveness, claiming they fell in love and handled it badly but did not deserve to lose their jobs. I am still at Sarah's place while apartment hunting. I blocked Eric, his family, and all their flying monkeys on every platform. Some mutual friends said I went too far by involving his workplace, but I disagree. He and his family gaslighted me for months, made me question my own sanity, all while knowing the truth. They deserve everything coming their way. Update 3. The aftermath of everything has finally settled. Eric and Lisa had to relocate to a different city since neither could find decent jobs locally. Their previous company's HR investigation revealed multiple policy violations, making it difficult for them to get references. Before leaving town, Eric made one last attempt to contact me through our mutual friend Tom, saying he wanted to meet and explain everything properly. I refused. Amy has been on a mission to repair her brother's reputation. She tells everyone that I went overboard by reporting them to HR, saying relationship issues should be handled privately. Their parents tried involving my family, hoping they would make me retract my complaints. They contacted my mom saying I was being unreasonable and Eric just made a mistake like any young man might. Thankfully, my parents stood firmly by my side after hearing the complete story. Mark has become a good friend through all this. He helped me find a great apartment in a better neighborhood, far from any places Eric and I used to frequent. He is dating someone new who seems perfect for him. According to him, Lisa tried crawling back after losing her job, claiming what happened with Eric was just a temporary lapse in judgment. Mark saw right through her act and rejected her immediately. The mutual friends who initially criticized my actions have started reaching out with apologies. Several admitted they had noticed Eric and Lisa acting suspicious at gatherings but chose to stay quiet to avoid drama. One friend even confessed she had seen them together at a restaurant months ago but convinced herself they were just having a work meeting. Last week, I received an interesting email from an anonymous coworker of Eric. Apparently, their affair had been causing problems at work long before I reported them. They would disappear together during lunch breaks, show up late to meetings, and act inappropriately at office events. Multiple colleagues had complained about their behavior but management kept giving them warnings instead of taking serious action. I am doing much better now. The new apartment feels like a fresh start. I got promoted at work and even started dating again, though very casually. Sometimes I think about all those months Eric made me doubt myself over something so obvious. Those black hairs were literally evidence staring me in the face, yet he managed to convince me and everyone else that I was losing my mind. Through the grapevine, I heard Eric and Lisa are still together but struggling. No technology company in their new city wants to hire them after checking their references. They had to take pay cuts to find work in different fields. Amy still creates new accounts to send me angry messages, blaming me for her brother's downfall. Their family's standing in our social circle is completely ruined, exactly what they were trying to prevent by covering up Eric's affair. I have zero regrets about how I handled everything. Their constant gaslighting and manipulation justified my actions. If they had been honest instead of making me question my sanity for months, things might have ended differently. But they chose to lie and deceive, so they got exactly what they deserved. Looking back, those hairs in the bathroom were just the evidence I could see. The real issue was Eric's betrayal and his family's role in covering it up. They were willing to destroy my mental health to protect his image. Now they can live with the consequences of their choices. That's my final update on this situation. I am moving forward with my life and leaving all this drama behind. To everyone who supported me and helped me see I was not crazy, thank you. Trust your gut when something feels wrong, and never let anyone gaslight you into doubting yourself.